Yo, everybody, what's up? I'm Antoine Harris, your host of Life on the Court podcast. Welcome back to the show, and thank you for joining. Now, here in today's podcast, I want to talk to you about just a few words that's going to help build your self-equity, equity within yourself. So it's just a few words. I'm going to give you some definitions of that I feel will help you. And if you can try to master these different words in your life, in your daily journey, that I think could really, really help you. All right. So I just want to jump right into it, right? The first word I want to talk about is balance, right? A lot of us, if we can master this one, it's probably one of the hardest ones to master, but being a balanced individual will really help us on our daily journey because a lot of it we can, and it goes back to like our emotional management, right? Sometimes we can get out of whack. Somebody say something to us, someone does something to us, and we may uh, react and not respond to it. And when we respond again, that's a little bit more healthier. But we want to try to talk about like being balanced, right? So when it comes to balance, you just a quick definition on how we can be balanced, right? So we understand the importance of balancing different aspects of our life, intellectual, physical, emotional, to achieve well-being for ourselves and others. Being balanced means we recognize our interdependence with other people and with the world in which we live in. So just being balanced, that you can have that time on social media. We can also have that time outside. You can have that time with family. You can have that time with yourself. And we want to just try to work on being balanced. Again, I feel like I started off with that one because I feel like that is one of the hardest things to do is be balanced. So my next word for you guys, we're going to talk about is being principled. Okay, being principled. What I mean by being principled, being principled is when we act with integrity and honesty, with a strong sense of fairness and justice. Right? It's when that word justice. A lot of us feel like it doesn't happen a lot in our country and around the world, and it doesn't. Justice being equal, being fair, but there's a lot of people in our lives that could be more principled. There are a lot of systems that are around us that could be more principles and be more principled. And going back to talking about it with respect and the respect for the dignity and rights of people everywhere. All right. We take responsibility for our actions and their consequences. Again, we take responsibility for our actions and their consequences. Being principled. And I'm going to stay here for a second because, again, in a world that we live in, and we're surrounded by individuals who are not balanced, we are surrounded by systems that are not principled. It makes it harder to navigate this thing called life, right? So we have to build that equity within ourselves. Like I talk about it a lot. We build equity in our financial portfolios. We build social equity. We build equity within our homes. We build, if you're a sports person, you build that sweat equity. But no one really focuses on equity within ourselves. Self-equity, let's build it. Let's try it, okay? So going again, being principled, going up to the next one, right? Going up to the next one. We want to be in positions where we are open-minded, right? I think that's kind of where it starts. This is kind of like the middle, right? This is kind of where it starts, just being more open-minded about ourselves, being more open-minded about the world around us, being more open-minded about our coworkers, our family members, like why people are the way they are. Okay, so let's talk about what I mean by open-minded. It's like we critically appreciate our own cultures and our own personal history, as well as the values and traditions of others. We seek and evaluate a range of point of views, and we're willing to grow from that experience. I think one of the big things is growing from that experience. Equal rights for all. I just talked about it with being principled. We have systems around us that are not principled, but that does not mean that we can't be principled in our approach, that we can't defy the system, all right, and be more open-minded, be more principled, which helps us be more balanced individuals. Because, there could be a tweet, a caption that sometimes can send us over the edge. Why? Ask yourself, why am I getting mad at this? Why is this bothering me? Will this stop me or hinder me from being with my family, interacting with the people I love the most? Is it going to keep me from living my life, making as much money as I want to? All right. Sometimes we just gotta, dust your shoulders off, right? So then talking about just going back to open-minded, I need you guys just to be a little bit more open-minded about life. Again, understanding people's point of views, like hearing them out. A lot of times, if the view we don't agree with, we shut it down immediately. Why is that? I was just talking to someone the other day. We just talked about politics, right? And just not getting deep into politics, but we actually talked about how me and that individual were aligned on how we see people when it comes to politics. Like when I'm talking to someone, I'm more focused on your political views and how you got there. Because everybody has their reasons why they are where they're at with their political views, right? And you're never gonna know mine, really. I won't say never, but it's gonna be hard pressed to see like what my views are. However, because I'm more focused on you and your views and how you got to where you are with your views. Again, that's more talking about being open-minded. I'm focused on that. How do I get there, right? Being open-minded. I just ask questions. And that goes to my next word, inquirers. You have to be more of an inquirer. We have to be more inquirers. As some people say, question everything. I've heard quotes in the past of believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. Believe nothing. Like I've heard these quotes over my lifetime. So when it comes to being inquirers, like we should nurture our curiosity, developing skills of inquiry and research. Again, asking questions, doing your own research, not focusing on someone telling you how to think. We need to be more independent thinkers. When I was in education, I thrived, my students thrived on a student-centered classroom where they're able to ask questions, you're able to debate, you're able to learn from your peers because they were all raised differently. So just being an inquirer, asking questions, doing the research, right? We learn, we know how to learn independently with others. That's a key too, with others. We learn with enthusiasm and sustain our love for learning throughout life. A lot of times, what educators don't understand, school system don't understand, is that when you allow students to think for themselves and allow them to uh, learn from others and open up the class for discussion, that makes learning more engaging because you have a room or you have a classroom where everybody or mostly everybody from different backgrounds, right? They were raised differently, even the teacher. So why not be able to tie that content in to the individuals and the life, the backgrounds that they come from, just being able to share with one another. It creates students, it creates individuals who are more independent thinkers, independent learners, learning from others, which makes them more knowledgeable, okay? And that is going to be the next word we talk about, more knowledgeable. The word is knowledgeable. What do I mean by that? We develop and use conceptual understanding, exploring knowledge across the range of disciplines. When I talk about disciplines, that's range of school subjects, curriculums. It can also mean that we can explore the range of people that we are in class with. The teachers that are teaching us, we get to understand, develop an understanding of the very teachers that are teaching us, the administrators that are in our buildings, building that relationship to understand them more, be more knowledgeable about the people that we work with, the world around us. We engage with issues and ideas that have local and global significance. Local and global significance. Again, in education, in our workspace, if there is a place for you to be more knowledgeable, maybe about your job, maybe about the entire process, it can go to the people that works at the factory. Maybe you're on a line and you don't know the end product, but maybe you can be a little bit more knowledgeable about what the end product, end result is, and where it's going to after that. Again, in our classrooms, how can we make it, in our lives, how can we make our lives just a little bit better by being more knowledgeable? Again, self-equity. These words are going to help you. So be more knowledgeable. And before you can, I wouldn't say before you get to being knowledgeable, I think another thing that kind of goes with that is you got to be a thinker. Social media should not think for you. That neighbor should not think for you. Your parents should not think for you. Your teachers, your peers should not think for you. Your coworkers should not think for you, but you, if you listen to this, if you're watching this, you should be thinking for yourself. Like I said earlier, an independent thinker. Who's influencing your thoughts? Go back into those last 10 text messages. Who are you texting? Are they influencing your thoughts? Are you thinking for yourself? Are you the leader, or do you have a bunch of leaders around you, or a bunch of followers? Are you empowering people? Is someone empowering you to think for yourself? If not, hey, this is the podcast today that you can empower yourself to think for yourself. So when I talk about thinkers, we use critical and creative thinking skills to analyze and take responsibility take responsible action on complex problems, world problems, regional problems, local problems, family problems, problems with self-equity. Again, understanding ourselves better, being able to solve our own problems using our knowledge, creativity, our experiences, self-control. Okay. So we also exercise, we want to exercise our initial thinking, our ethical decisions, again, being able to think for ourselves. Independent thinkers, not dependent thinkers, not dependent on newscasts. Oh, they said it on Fox News. Oh, they said that on CNN, so it must be true. Oh, this person said this, so it's gotta be true. Instead of going and do the research yourself. Let's take it to church. Just because the pastor said it doesn't mean it's right. I just saw someone say something about how different clergy leaders do their own interpretation of the Bible. That's and not really encouraging people to go and read. But I've always been encouraged, the churches that I've attended, is to don't believe me, go read it for yourself. Empower, again, that's thinking. Go read for yourself. Don't just take the pastor's word for it. Go read it yourself. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. So let's go on to the next one. And that is going to be communicator. We all have to be communicators. We all have to be, better yet, more effective communicators. So how do we do that? We express ourselves confidently and creatively in more than one language and in many ways. Sign language, English, Spanish, French, phonics, however you do it, body language. But there are more than one way that you can just communicate effectively with the person that you're talking to, the community that you're involved in, and the individuals who are in the world around you. Part of that equity is you gotta be a communicator, effective communicator. Hard to live in this world by not doing it. So, and part of that is just being able that we collaborate effectively, listening carefully to perspectives of individuals and groups, other individuals and groups. Yes, we can talk. I can talk with the best of them, but can I listen? Can I actively listen? Can you actively listen? Are you, when talking with someone, are you such in a rush to say what you have to say that you're not even taking the time to think and hear what that other individual is saying to you? Or are you just I just got to get out what I got to say? I had a debate with someone a long time ago, and part of that communication is like, hey, all right, when I talk, I'm asking your respect to just kind of listen, and vice versa. And it's like some people, oh, by the time it's my time, I forget. Well, that's your problem. If you're going to get into things like this, grab a pen, grab a sheet of paper, write your questions down. They do it in a courtroom all the time. And like no one's like trying to, be on the stand or anything like that. However, this is effective communication, being an effective communicator. Don't be in such a rush to get your point of view across without actively listening to someone else. And I think we struggle with that because our perspectives are different. And I'm asking you guys to just be more understanding, be more caring about the people that you are dealing with and their issues. And that brings us to our next word, which is caring. We show empathy, compassion, and respect. To me, you are perfect. We have a commitment to serve, and we act to make a positive difference in the lives of others and the world around us. I keep saying the world around us. Yes, because caring will do that. Show empathy. Teach empathy. Again, I just have so many experiences where I talk with people, talk with clients about just being more empathetic. Okay, putting yourselves in their shoes, seeing what they see, and feeling what they feel. Just being more caring. Like you got to be committed to doing that. You have to be committed to doing it, and it's not easy, right? For some people, it's just not easy to be caring. Maybe they don't know what it looks like. Maybe they don't know what it feels like to care for someone else. That's how we can just help each other, help one another. But you know what that does? In everything that I've explained, every word that I talked about so far, it takes a risk. You have to be a risk taker. You are now leaving your comfort zone. You're gonna have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Again, every word that I said that we need, you're gonna have to adopt the mindset and take a risk. Again, what do we need to do as a risk taker? We need to approach uncertainty with the forethought and determination that we work independently and collaboratively to explore new ideas and innovative strategies in anything. This is in life. This is not just in the classroom. This is not just in the workplace. This is with everything. You have to be a risk taker. We have to be resourceful and resilient in the faces of challenges and change. A risk taker. So every word that I said so far, it takes you to be a risk taker to do all of that. So I encourage you all today. Be a risk taker. Okay? Be a risk taker and be an agent for change. Be resilient against those challenges with self, with family, friends, the workplace, everything that's going on globally. Be a risk taker. Think for yourself. Leave your comfort zone, okay? And then my last one. When you have done all of this, okay, and things aren't, you get to gauge, right? Everything that has happened, every word that we talked about today. The last thing you can do is reflect. We have to be more reflective, right? So when I talk about being more reflective, what does that even mean? We thoughtfully consider the world and our own ideas and experiences. We work to understand our strengths and weaknesses in order to support our learning environment, our learning in general, our personal development, and for that our personal development, that we got to reflect on those things. How can we get better? How can you be 1% better every single day? Again, I was talking to students 2 weeks ago, just being present. Don't think back too far. Don't think ahead too much. Okay? Like those things, you gotta be reflective in your approach. in life. Because everything's not going to go right. Everything's not going to go as you plan. And that's okay. That's what life is. However, how can I be more reflective in this piece to be able to help myself, help others, and be better the next time, the next go around? Because it will come back. Okay, it will come back. So I gave you guys a lot today. It's a little longer than the other ones that I do by myself, the other podcasts, but I know that this is going to help you guys. Just continue again these words. It's going to help us with building self-equity, the equity within. Okay, because what's inside, eventually will come outside. All the commotion that's going on around us in this world, we got to focus on what we have in here. Our hearts, our souls, our minds, our mindsets. All right. Everything starts with you. For you to tell a better story, live a better life, it starts with you. It starts with self. So thank you guys for listening to this episode of Life on the Court. I know that these words are going to help with your daily growth. I have no doubt in my mind. Okay. So for more tips on how to reach it, okay, you can go back and watch this episode on Facebook. You can go back and watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify, on iTunes, on Google. Life on the Court podcast. Like, I need you guys. This episode right here, like, I need you guys to really lock in and share it with someone else. Because with everything that's going on, I keep going back to it. You have the power to change it around you. Think for yourself. If we all do this individually, we understand that it is strength in numbers. We can help each other out. Okay, so for more about us, for more episodes, I already told you where to go to. But I'll tell you again. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and for more about us, what we're doing at Antoine Harris Group. All right, we are focusing on building equity in others, especially with students, right? In the school district, nationwide. That's what we're doing. Building equity, self-equity. All right. So until next time, like I'm really, really excited about this episode. But until next time, I'm out. Peace.